How cute is my mug?
How cute is that? Did one of the kids get it for you?
Oh.
Got it for yourself?
You never have mugs that just like are in your house. You have no idea how they got there. Like I just have like 20 mugs. I don't know if they're even.
It's definitely an ex-girlfriend's.
No, no, maybe no, maybe it's Dana's. I don't know. Let's.
I always have lipstick on because I'll drink from both sides. And I always have lipstick on mine. My sister got me this one for Christmas, so I like it.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Megan, look at you.
Look at Maggie.
Unbelievable.
My dog's mad at me. Faith got groomed today, and I had them shave her. I had the guy shave her, and she's like, she feels naked. She's laying in bed naked right now, and she's just looking at me like,
how is she when she gets groomed? Does she chill or does she like freak out? Like,
I mean, I haven't witnessed it because he comes in a van, and he just takes her in the van.
It sounds so rapey.
I know. It's like a big white van. And he takes her in there, and then, like, but when she comes out, she's, like, happy, and she loves him. Like, she doesn't want to leave him. Like, she's just like, oh.
What's his name?
I know this. Tony. Tony in the white van.
That's just recipe for weird stuff, man.
Anyway, hi, Ben.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Friday. It's Friday.
Good Friday.
It's Tuesday, but it's really Friday.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yes.
Okay, you should say
what you say. Shabbat Shalom.
See? Look at you being all cultured and stuff. I'm so proud of you.
Where are you? I love this. I don't think I've seen this before. Is this your living room?
Yeah, it's my house.
I've only been there once.
Well, I might have changed a little bit, but
nice. Oh, I like it.
Come by more often. Don't be weird.
What?
I said come by more often. Don't be weird.
Oh, yeah. Samesies. So, yeah, I don't know about you, but I get a lot of questions about business. Like, so many people, even trainers that I know, are so scared to go out on their own, which I get because I was scared too. And start your own business. It's really intimidating. It's kind of scary. Like, but what I realized when I left Equinox is that it was a false sense of security, and I don't know about you, but like, I just knew, I think deep down always, that I wasn't meant to work for other people. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that like I'm proud of it, but I was listening to Dax Shepard yesterday, and Kelly Osbourne was on, and she was saying this, and I thought, oh my gosh, I was the same, which is not good, but like, if someone, like, I could have every intention of doing something, like growing up, cleaning my room, like, oh, my room is a mess, like, I really need to clean it. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to clean it. And then my mom would come in and say, you're not leaving until this room is clean. I'm like, well, I guess I know what I'm not doing today. I'm not cleaning my room because someone told me to do it. And that's how I was with everybody, like all my like employers. I just knew I didn't want to work for somebody else. I didn't want to like make them, successful and then me just like making minimum wage. I always like had a problem with like following, but it's weird because like with my clients, I don't know, like I look up to a lot of them. They're great in business, and I have no problem like working with them and having them, give me advice and tell me what to do. But I don't know. It's just something in me that like I knew I wanted to work for myself. Like you
didn't want to be another number.
I didn't want to be another number. And with Equinox, I think I finally found something close. I felt like in a way I worked for myself because they gave us a lot of freedom. We just had like a couple of meetings a month that we had to attend. Other than that, we kind of like made our own schedule. We did have to like keep up with a certain amount of sessions a week and a month that they expected from us. But other than that, they kind of like left us alone. But they still took like 60% of my money. And
I've never understood how the percentages are so high. I mean,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. So they would charge my clients a fortune and then not even give me half of it. And I mean, we had like bonuses and stuff, but like realistically, like we didn't get, hardly any of it. And in my mind, I thought, well, I'm only making what I'm making and as successful as I am in this because of Equinox. Like I didn't think really that it was me. And then, it wasn't until one of my clients kind of brought to my attention like what he was paying
Mm.
for his whole family to be there with me every month. And he said, why? And he's very successful. I said, he goes, why are you here? Like, do you know how much I pay them? How much of that do you get? And I'm like, yeah, not even close to that. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, I guess I just, like, when I started to think about it, I'm like, yeah, they stopped helping me get clients a long time ago, years ago. This is all me. I get my clients. I show up. I do the work. I get the results. And I thought, wow, I wonder if I could make it on my own. And it's like kind of got me going. And so I slowly started asking all my clients, like, would you go with me if I left? And they were like, absolutely, you're the only reason I'm here. And I didn't
Oh, yeah.
realize it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it was the scariest thing I've done. I remember thinking, like, I was asking my boss, like, if I made a bad decision, can I come back? And my boss goes, you're not coming back. But yeah, you can, but you're not going to. I know you're good. And I actually saw him recently and he was like, I told you you don't need me. Like you don't need
Yeah,
Equinox. Like you're good. And I'm
that's
like, okay.
awesome.
And but it was so scary. And so I know why people are scared to do it. But like I have a lot of, you know, friends and even clients that are like, I have this job that is secure, but I'm not happy and I would love to do this. I would love to open my own business. They have this dream, but they're so scared of leaving that security to
Sure.
do something that's so unstable. And so I thought it would be cool to talk about like both of us have our own businesses and like the ups and downs, and for those that want to start their own business or want to go on this new journey of whatever they're wanting to do, like maybe we can help in some way, give advice to those people, because as scary as it was, I definitely don't regret it. And especially with the pandemic, all of my friends that worked for Equinox were really screwed, and luckily I had already built that foundation for myself privately, and I already had clients over FaceTime and Zoom before it was even a thing, because I had people like I have clients that I train on the East Coast, and so it wasn't really that big of a transition. Like for my LA clients it was on their end, but I'm like, I promise you it's like the same thing. And it just kind of was easy to get
Yeah.
that going, and luckily I was able to pretty much keep all my clients through the pandemic. And then yeah, and so, and I even got like more, and so I was very blessed in that area. But yeah, so I don't regret it at all. It was the best decision I made, but it was very scary. And I realized later, like, wow, I should have done this a long time ago. And I look at some of my old coworkers and I think, you're amazing. Like, why are you giving Equinox all your money? Like I see why you do it
Yeah.
in the beginning, because you learn a lot there and they teach you a lot. And so the education part is great. But once you get all that, I'm like, get out of there. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's so true. That's so wasn't. It's actually funny to think of you as an employee of Equinox. I can't even really imagine that. You are so, just knowing a little bit of your story, you are so on your own.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. It's I definitely butt heads with some of the managers in my day, and it's not like a disrespectful thing. Like I just Yeah, it's just always been hard for me to work for other people and being told what to do. I like I said, I don't think that that's a good thing. I just like it is what it is. And like
Yeah.
and when I think about it, I'm like, wow, I literally tell people what to do for a living.
Yeah.
Like this is what I do. I tell, like it's just I don't know, it's just one of those things. But it does come with like like you are on your own, so the hustle never stops, and that's
Oh yeah.
where the passion I think has to come in, because if I wasn't passionate about fitness, this would suck. I
Oh yeah.
work
Oh,
from 5 a.m. to I have this little break right now. I go back to work. I'm not done till 8 o'clock tonight. I've been up since like 4:30, and this is my life every day, and it doesn't feel like work, so that's why I'm able to do it. And the hustle is always not just like hustling as far as getting up and going to each client, but and like programming for each person individually. Like I don't have a cookie cutter program. Everybody has a different program, and so it takes a lot of work and a lot of education and keeping up on my on my certifications and everything. I just did that. But it's also like you can't get comfortable, and I learned this a long time ago, is that you cannot get comfortable when things are good, because as a trainer, all it takes is losing 2 big clients in 1 week, and you're like, how am I gonna pay my bills all of a sudden? Like you're like living this like baller life 1 minute, and the next minute you just have like no idea. And
yeah.
so you have to constantly be hustling and putting yourself out there, which can be exhausting, especially if you're not passionate about what you do. So I feel like as long as you're passionate about it, that's what like keeps me going, is that I actually love my job. I love my clients, and I've now come to a place where I only work with people I want to work with, so I look forward to each person, which
Sure.
is I wasn't always able to do that. I had to just like take who I could, but now I'm in a really good place. So yeah, so that's my experience, like owning the own business. It's like, and then taxes. I have to say, I didn't know the first year I went on my own that I needed to pay quarterly, and so I waited
Yeah. Same here.
until
Didn't know
the
either.
end of the year. And my accountant was like, I had a new accountant that year, and he's like, wait, you didn't pay quarterly? And I'm like, what? And he's like, oh, we have a problem. Okay. Like, and it was, I mean, when he told me how much I owed, I about like, cause I wasn't used to making that much. I wasn't used to paying my own taxes, like Equinox, like, obviously like I was an employee. So my whole life I've always worked for someone, and it's always been taken out. And so this was, no one taught me. I didn't know. The first year was like such a learning curve, and I about had a heart attack when I found out how much I owed.
Oh yeah.
And so it's taken a lot. Like now I know, guys, pay quarterly. Like, you're gonna be so happy you did. And so there's a lot, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I love working for myself. So anyway, I've rambled on enough. I want to hear about you. Like, when did you? Because I know, like, we've had you on before, and you've talked about like how you got into everything that you do.
Mhm.
But as far as like not working for somebody else and just opening up your own company and doing videography, and like you've done photography and everything, how did you decide to do that, and what steps did you take?
Yeah. I didn't really have a choice. So I used to live with a good friend of mine in Brentwood, and I had a job at the time at a TV network. Um, and actually, I was working at a clothing line doing customer service at the time, just minimum wage, regular job. And on my lunch break, I would work on my own stuff. I'd like work on editing and whatever, just trying to get better, like just trying to like find cool videos and re-edit them and post them and get views. And I actually got fired because I got caught doing it. And apparently, you're not allowed to be on the premises doing other company work, even if you're on your lunch break. And they caught me on the camera 3 different times doing it. And they called me in and fired me on the spot. And that was it. And then I went to another company, and it was a TV network I worked at. And they're kind of known for just refreshing their payroll, or like their teams. So they fired me as well, or laid me off, I should call it. But that was the last straw for me. I couldn't stand knowing that someone else had control over like my destiny, my money, my income, my hours, I just couldn't stand that. And my dad was always an inspiration because he started his own company, came here from Israel, didn't speak the language, and started a company for himself and provided for his family and doesn't take orders from anyone but himself. And that was always inspirational to me. So I did it because I literally just didn't have a choice, but also I refuse to go to that place ever again and let someone else control or dictate how I'm going to operate my life. So I lived with a buddy of mine, and I was lucky. You know, it really is all who you know, right? So I got lucky. My buddy was, his parents owned the condo where we stayed. I paid them rent. I was paying rent 15, 20, 25 days late because I just didn't have the money to pay it. I wasn't buying food to eat. So he has this beautiful Jewish Persian family, and they make like incredibly huge meals that can feed 20 armies, and it's like 7 of them. So all the kids go home with meals for the week. So when he would leave for the day, I would go in, I would sneak bites out of his food, and then I would like shake it up so he couldn't tell that I took a bite out of it. But that was how I got through like eating meals, like those little things that just like whatever it takes is the point of what I'm getting at, whatever it takes. And that's always been the way I've been. I mean, you're going to find a way. You push up against the wall, you'll find a way, or you won't. And then you learn that's just not for you. You can't, that's not who you are. I have friends that have structured jobs and they love it. It's just how they are. They need the structure. They need the manager to tell them what to do, what not to do, when to do it, when to get it done by. I respect that. It's just, I can't do that. And so I'm grateful because I learned what I'm made of. And that's what people are scared of, I think, is being put in the fire and burning and not knowing how to jump out or run across, when people run across the fire and they see how much they can take of it. That's a metaphor for it. I mean, it's how long you want to stand in the fire to see what you're worth. And that's what it comes down to. So that was what kind of started it. And for me, I've always just kind of like, instead of saying what I want, I would just kind of like do it. So I used to, when I first started shooting, I would shoot family events and I would shoot corporate gigs, like people that referred me to these little gigs. And at the end, I would have secretly shot video and photo without telling them. I was hired for photography, but I would shoot the photos. And when I was done, I would edit a video of their event, deliver the photos, and then give them a video at the end and say, hey guys, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure working with you. If you know someone that needs video, please refer me. Here's a video I made of your event. And they would freak out because they didn't know I was going to do that. I put in the hustle, and I did that 2 or 3 times, and that birthed my video career like right away. But within a month, I had a video career because I put in the work. I just knew what I wanted to do, so I just did it. I didn't ask for favors. I just did it. So that's kind of a little bit of how it. I know we talked about it before, but that's kind of how it started. As far as like the hustle, like you were talking about, yeah, the pandemic really kind of was a shocker for everyone. But like, I had these huge events out of the country planned. I had major shoots going on out of the country, in the country, all over the place. All of them shut down. Everyone's calling me, hey, man, we're shutting down the marketing budget for the year. We're going to close down. We'll let you know when we're back up. We'll give you a call in a few months. Cool. Thanks for calling. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Like, and I was sitting here on the couch. My roommate's staying with her boyfriend. So I was here by myself for like a month straight. And I'm just sitting here. I'm just like, what the hell just happened here? Like, I just lost all my business, everything. And I have no idea where the next piece of money is going to come from or anything. So I sat on it and I kind of just like simmered it for a little bit, for a couple of days. And then I had a good cup of coffee one morning. I got a little inspired. So I called my client. I said, hey, why don't you just send me some product? Send me some product. Send me some stuff that you were going to have shot. I'll shoot it for you. I won't charge you for it. If you like it, let's do some more shoots and keep it going. I had this creative way of working within. I saw this guy on YouTube that like took a black room with just a camera and a light, and it was all motion based, like really cool movements, and like throwing the bottle across and like spinning the glass and tossing garments or garnishments in the air and all this stuff. And I thought that was so cool. So I was like, I'm going to try this and see if they like it. We did it, and it's now been a year since we've been working with them. And it's got approved over and over and over again for more product, more boxes, more jobs. And that hustle is what it's all about. I mean, that's what it all is. You know, Jason's my business partner, production partner. And I'm always trying to find a way to work with new clients. So there's a company called Fresh Clean Teas. They're all over Instagram. But the guys, it's like Spanx for guys, but t-shirts. It like hugs your body and the whole thing. So I reached out to them and said, hey, I just bought a couple of your shirts. Why don't you guys send me some shirts and I'll shoot them with some of my buddies. And if you like it, let's do some work together. And they said, okay, great. They sent me a box. We shot it. They loved it. We have a phone call on Friday to do a whole campaign for them. So like, those are the things. I say this because like, if this is the route you want to take and you want to work for yourself and you want to create your own income and you want to be responsible for your own schedule and the whole thing, there's a whole nother side of things that come with that. There's a whole nother, you're responsible for every single thing you do or don't do. And people have to realize that, because I think people think it's a lot more like, oh, you're so lucky you control your own schedule. You're so lucky this, like.
I hear that all the time. And I'm like, you have no idea though.
No idea.
Because no, I mean, I do, but I don't. Like if I needed to take time off, sure, I could tell my clients, but I'm not getting paid, you know, so that's not that easy to do. And I have to cater, and you have to cater to our clients, like to their schedules. I go to West Hollywood from Santa Monica sometimes 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and night, because I have clients there and they're all on different schedules. And everyone goes, well, why can't you just go there and train them back to back? That's not how it works. Like, like I've got like business people, and then I've got people that like to work in the morning and work out in the afternoon. I have kids that don't get done with school until after 3 p.m. So it's like you have to, there's so much that goes into it, and you can't be late. You have to like, you know, like be respectable. Like you have to show up, you have to follow through. And I don't know if people realize, like you have to do, so it's like you're your business. And I don't know about, I mean, it sounds like for you, like it's like me, everything is pretty much word of mouth and referral. Like I know that you've worked for companies and then they refer you to somebody else. So you have to be on 100%. It doesn't matter if you feel like it or not, where I guess like I don't know, positive, it's not really positive, but like if you work for somebody else and you have a bad day, then you're just having a bad day. You don't really think about, you know, being your best self all the time. But when you work for yourself, you have to be on 100%.
All the time. And you know what's the worst part is, even when you don't want to be on, you have to not only be on, but you have to under promise and over deliver every time. Like everything has to be not only your best, but beyond your best, because that's all that gets you the referrals. It's that stuff, you know? Yep. And I always have that not metaphor, but like, you know, that saying, like, if you have a job you hate, like you are whatever, you want to be an actor or you want to be a this, and you're a barista instead, or you're a waiter, or whatever the thing might be that you're doing in lieu of what you want to be doing because you have to make bills, whatever that thing is. Why not always do your best? You never know who's watching. You know, I mean, I have friends that were waiters and they would be like just charismatic, having the worst day. They got a parking ticket, they got evicted, whatever the thing is, and they still showed up for work. They still showed up and brought the drinks to the table with a positive vibe. They brought the bread, they brought the meals. They were happy, they were joyous, they were gracious. And people got jobs off of that, like in corporate companies. Like, you want to be my assistant? You want to be my executive assistant? And get paid 5 times a year? Like, it's like, you just don't know who's watching you. You always got to keep a face on. And that, I believe, in some respects, being a waiter is very much like working for yourself in the way you handle that job and handle yourself, because it's all on you.
Right.
You make that commission, make that tip, or you don't. And that falls on you.
True. I mean, and even like, you know, when I was a front end manager at Target when I was in my early 20s. And there was a regular that would come in, and he was a chiropractor, and he knew like I was the front end manager. And he just knew like he liked me. He liked my vibe. He liked that I always had a smile on my face and would never let anyone wait in line. I would call for backup. Like I didn't want, you know, that's just like how I ran the front. And he saw the hustle in that, and he offered me a job. So I said, bye, Target. And I went to him, and he taught me so much about, that's how I really got into fitness there. That's when I hired my first trainer, was a patient there, and I was interested in learning about fitness and health for the first time in my life. That came from, even though I really didn't like Target, I didn't like
Yeah.
working there, I still, my dad always told me, like, I don't care if you're making minimum wage or if you're making $100 an hour. I don't care if you're working, at McDonald's, not that there's anything wrong with that, or you're in a corporate job. Like, if you sign on to do something, you do your best. And I've always kind of kept that, that mindset. And so, I feel like that gets you far. People notice that, and you never know, like you said, who's watching or where that could lead you. Another piece of advice that I got was, like, if you, whatever you want to do, like, as long as you're passionate about it, and it's your, like, and it's something that then you're gonna be fine. Like, you just have to, like, really not try to, like, do what everyone else is doing or something because it's, like, popular in the moment or whatever. Like, do what you're passionate about, do what do what you love, and it'll pay off, I think.
Yeah, I heard there's this guy that makes these songs based on like what certain people in media say. He'll like take their entire speech and put it, like, make it into a song. Not sing it. He'll just like take their actual voices. One with Joe Rogan, and one of the main lines he says, it's so simple, but it's just true. Like, through discipline, I get things done, not because I want to, because I have. Like, it is. I think you and I are more disciplined than we think we are. You know, really, and that's what it comes down to. How, and also, what future regrets are you willing to have? Like, you've got to stay disciplined, otherwise you will. If you're responsible for your own income, you'll see the effects. Well, then you'll see it. You have to stay on top of your shit. And it's kind of just that simple. I mean, it's not like some crazy recipe or magical thing you have to do to work for yourself. It's just a matter of keep your head on straight, be positive, and not only be positive, but realize that no one's gonna catch you. No one's gonna catch you. Only you. So you have to love yourself a little bit.
It's very true.
Yeah.
And it can be scary at times, like, especially during the pandemic. There were a couple of times where I got those calls of, well, like, I got laid off, or, work is slow, production has stopped. I have a lot of clients in the entertainment industry, and they're like, so I got to cut back for a little bit. And those calls are like, when you get a couple in a week, you're like, like, what am I gonna do? Like, it just trickles down, and then you start thinking, like, but sometimes I will say that I mean, look, with this podcast, with the clothing line, there are things that during those times it really does make you hustle, and it makes you think outside the box, like you were saying, with everyone canceling on you and then you deciding to just do it at home. It's like, it does get the wheel spinning, and you have to be creative because there is no one that's going to catch you. And so then something amazing can come out of hard times. So you can't be, like, too mad about it. And that's how I've tried to keep my mindset during this whole thing. I lost one of my biggest clients that I've had for 9 years. And that has always been like a security blanket for me because they've been such a big client of mine for so long. And no matter what happens in my mind, I'm like, well, I still have this client, so I'll be fine. But again, like, I don't know, like, first of all, like, false sense of security, I guess. Like, but when I lost them, at first I kind of panicked. And then I thought, no, you know what? I'm not going to panic. Because every time something like this happens and I think, oh no, something amazing comes out of it. And sure enough, the next day, out of, like, the whole pandemic, not getting, like, any real calls for new clients, within a week, I got 11 calls. 11 for either old clients that want to come back or new clients, or and it all works out. It's like, and then you have to think outside the box. And I started offering a meal prep for people or shop for people so they didn't have to go be tempted by, like, bad foods in the grocery store. Like I started like thinking outside the box a little bit, and it just all, works out. But you have to hustle quite a bit. Yeah.
Mama, look at you in the
Well,
flesh. Look at you
yeah,
killing it. Look at you.
you know.
When your
You
head
too.
put your head over to the side a little bit. Now go up. You look like
What?
Mickey Mouse ears up there with the rocks behind you. I can't stop
Oh,
seeing that. I can't not see that now. Look at you.
I miss Disneyland so much.
You went not that long ago though.
Well, went to downtown Disney, but I mean,
Oh, you didn't go to the actual park?
well, it's been closed. We're in a pandemic. I don't know if you've heard.
No way.
We are.
So we are. We are. Ah,
We are, Ben. I think they are open now, or they're opening up. So we need to go.
I'm honestly kind of down. Can we bring Faith?
Maybe I can pass her as like I don't know. Are emotional support dogs allowed in Disneyland?
100%. She's
What
gonna
if we
freak
got
out.
a guide? A guide is very expensive, and what if the guide was like our way? Like I'm like, look, this is an emotional support dog. I paid for a guide. Like maybe then.
We can leave her at home too, and then just not pay that money and just go.
But she's just so cute. She's
Can I
tired.
see her? She asleep?
She's asleep on my bed. She like had it rough today, and by rough I mean she got groomed, and she was devastated because she feels bare.
Devastated.
She was devastated. I had just shave her because she was, it's getting hot out, and she was getting all this stuff stuck to her all the time, and I felt like I was constantly pulling stuff off of her, and because she likes to play with dogs in the neighborhood. She's got friends. She's very social, this dog. Very social. And she like plays rough, and then she comes in and she's just covered in crap. And so, yeah, I don't shave. And she just looks at me like, how dare you? She's like naked and afraid.
Oh.
So she's passed out right now on my bed. Yeah.
I gotta see her.
Yeah. Well, this was lovely, Ben. I
Terrific.
don't know. Do you have any advice for anyone that... Oh, so I did say that I was going to talk about this because I do get like specifically fitness because I'm a trainer. So a lot of people like want to become, personal trainers, and they want to leave their secure jobs and all of that to do this. And so my advice would be, until you're educated, like it is good to work for a gym, especially Equinox, I don't want to, like put them down. They're a great gym. Obviously, I still am a member, and to work there when you're brand new at training, it's great because they put you through so much education that they pay for. And so, great. But once you learn everything that you can from them or whatever gym you're at, it's great to like learn from other trainers as well that have been in this longer than you. Once you get a clientele and you become a little more, known in your area, then I think as soon as you have that opportunity where you feel secure enough to where that you can like pay your bills, because you have to be smart about it, I say like get out as soon as possible and just start building your business. So definitely be smart about it, but it's such a great, I think, move to be able to be on your own and to just know that like you're hustling for yourself and not having to like give a percentage to a gym, because you're doing all the work. So you should get the whole, the benefits of it.
I agree. I think there's some advice there, even within your realm. But in general, I think like if you're thinking about doing it and you haven't done it yet and you still have some time before you want to quit and move on, there are so many outlets to learn and get better and like hone the skill set and sharpen it. And, always be like, the one thing I would say comes with working for yourself. And I'm sure it's with you too. Like you have to be ready when something comes your way to pivot and readjust and then keep going forward. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like you're on the freeway and traffic starts and you see you can get off an off ramp and go around it and get to the same thing. Things are always going to come up. Things won't always go your way. You might lose a client. You might lose this. The ability to know that that is not the end. That's a lesson. That's a pivot to go to the next thing. And the next thing could be way better than where you were, whatever. But
Right.
you always have to be willing to pivot and readjust. And that's the whole thing, I think, is preparing yourself mentally for what's going to come. And it's awesome.
Mhm.
It shows you what you work. What I was getting at is like through Skillshare, through Masterclass, through YouTube, through all these different avenues to be able to learn and hone the skill set. Always, even if nothing has happened that's forcing you to pivot, always pivot. Always
Mhm.
look up creative ways to make your job more appealing, even cooler.
Mhm.
Make
Mhm.
yourself invaluable. Those are the
Right.
things I think are really really important.
Right.
Jason and I are
Totally.
always watching YouTube. Like it'll be 2 a.m. He'll send me a YouTube video about like a new camera coming out and all the stuff it can do that the ones that we have and everyone we know have can't do. Like we're already prepping ourselves for the next stage, the next chapter, so we don't ever get run over. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And
Mhm.
as the years go on, all these creative independent industries like fitness and filmmaking and whatever it is, being whatever it might be, there's technology gets better and better, and younger people come out more and more, and they
Mhm.
want to take your lunch. That's what Mark Cuban always says. You got
Yeah.
to run your business like someone's always behind you, ready to eat your lunch, and it's just
Well,
the
it's
truth of
so
it.
true. There's
Kind of it.
so much, especially in LA. I mean, well, but everywhere. I mean, there's so much for both of our careers. Like, there's so much competition. It's insane. And so you have to figure out like what separates you from everybody else. What's your strong suit? Like, I don't like to compare myself to other trainers because, which is easy to do. I mean, like, I have a lot of friends that are very successful at training, um, but I could never be them. I could never, like, the best advice I've gotten is like stay in your lane, which I don't think applies to everything. It's good sometimes to like go out of your lane, but when it comes to what like, I don't like to try to copy other people's style. I have a style of training that I like, that works for me, that works for my clients. When I see other people do other things, I'm like, that's cool. I don't feel comfortable doing that. It's just not my thing. But I do know like my strong suits, what I have to offer, and I love to educate myself not only on the body and like fitness and what science is always changing, so all that, but also I read a lot of books on like mindfulness, and I've been doing therapy for years, and now I just switched over to a holistic or like a hypnotherapist.
Mhm.
And I'm always looking up like healthy recipes and learning about nutrition. I see a holistic doctor. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I like to apply kind of everything. And so my clients feel like they can ask me for advice and talk to me about life issues. I kind of feel like a therapist sometimes, um,
Sure.
which I love. And I get really personal and close to my clients. And then obviously like with their physical goals, um, and then with nutrition, I feel like I have a lot to offer in all of those areas where I have looked at other trainers in the past that I've worked with, and I see the relationship they have with their clients, and all they have to offer is just the workout. And they don't get close to them. They don't know about their life. They don't ask. Their clients don't tell them anything. And I've also seen their business not do well.
Mhm.
And I think with especially personal training, like it's personal, and you really have to offer a lot more than just training. And
Always.
so that's another piece of advice that I would give people that want to be trainers is, you do have to be vulnerable, and you have to be okay with people being vulnerable to you. I've had so many clients tell me before they told anyone else that they're pregnant, or that they are having an affair and they break down, or like, whatever it is. Like, I've had so many things happen where I almost like feel honored that they feel comfortable enough to come to me about it and ask me for advice. Um and I think that's part of why I've had clients for 8 years, 9 years, like, because we've become like family. And so
Sure.
I know that like with a lot of your clients you work with for a long time, you're reliable, you're fun to work with, you're not, like a flake like a lot of people are in LA, and that matters. Like, word goes around, like, don't work with this person, they're a flake, they're always late, they always have a bad attitude. And that obviously, like, it can ruin your career. But
Yeah.
you're a joy to work with, Benjamin.
Stop it, Momo.
So,
For those that don't know, her niece calls her Aunt Momo now, so now I can't not call her Momo. Like, forever, that's her name. That's it. Greatest.
Momo. Yeah, I love that little girl so much. I can't wait to see what Mason calls me. He's only 2 months old.
Oh,
That little chunky monkey. He's 2 months old and he weighs 15 pounds. He is a chunky monkey. I'm like, are you trying to be a linebacker? I got him a little rattle that's a weight, a dumbbell, and he loves it. He loves it. He's like already into lifting. I'm starting him young.
You are.
But I have big hopes for him that he's going to be a professional athlete. I think that's why he's,
Give him that, what's that chunky mama soup from the market? It was like that horrible can of like just meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
He'll get real big. Give him all that.
He is going to be a meat and potatoes boy. But I try to call myself Aunt Morgan around him because I just want to see what he calls me. Because I always said, Aunt Morgan around Gracie, and she just ended up calling me Momo. And so I'm just interested to see if he calls me the same thing or something different.
Momo's fitting for you. It's suiting. Welcome it.
She's so cute. Yeah, she's already like got a crush on a boy at school. She's in preschool and she's like trying to impress him. I guess this kid likes cowboy boots, so she needs to wear cowboy boots every day because he likes cowboy boots. And
of course.
She kissed him the other day, and my sister was like, "Whoa," because like when my sister kisses her goodbye, she like just kisses her, and so I think she thinks that like when you love somebody, you kiss them goodbye. And so my sister showed up to pick her up and was like, "All right, we gotta go," and she goes and like kisses them like, "Okay, bye." And my sister's like, "No, we don't do that to people that aren't family." And she's like, "Oh, okay." Like, didn't really. I'm like, all right, that's cool.
She's gonna be a real pain in all your asses.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is. That's awesome.
Oh, well, this was great then. I hope we help some people that are thinking about going out on their own. I think it's great. I mean, like you said, if you're cool with being structured, I think there's definitely a need for that, obviously. And if you could do that, great. Some of us, though, just are a pain and don't like to be told what to do.
I agree. I think one last thing I'd say is even if you are right now working for somebody and you do want to do your own, whatever it is, or you're trying to be on your own, you're already doing it. I would say that around yourself, around your clients, around your work, around how you participate in your everyday life, just be really conscious of what you're doing and how you're speaking to people, because you might have a 9-to-5 and you can kind of say what you want and you have job security and you're cool, but you need to be aware that people are watching you from every angle all the time. And it's always a first impression all the time.
Yeah,
that matters. That's your paycheck. That's your longevity. That's your life. That's your groceries. That's your rent. That's your mental peace. That's all of it. So just be really conscious. Even if you're working for somebody, be conscious of how you're talking to people and be conscious of yourself too. Like, what feels right? Does it feel right what you're doing? Do you want to be there? Do you not want to? Just get in touch and be conscious of yourself around all of it. And
definitely,
just be very mindful.
It's very true.
Very mindful.
It's so true. I had one bad day at Equinox, I remember, and I lost it on a client, and it was in like towards the beginning of my career. And that one bad day, I look back and like cringe at it. I had a right to lose it on this client, and my boss that's why I wasn't fired, because this was like he was an asshole. But because it was a scene at Equinox, there are people that were like honestly scared of me. Like, really? Like scared of me, didn't want to work with me. because they thought I had, like an anger problem or something. Like it was like Parker, Parker, his mom was like, "You're going to work with my trainer." And he's like, "No," because he saw the
Oh my
fight and he
God.
was like, "No, no, I'm scared of her. I'm scared of her." And
Wow.
it's still real 9 years later. But like that day, like I just didn't even realize like people are watching. I was just so focused on this
Yeah.
client being a jerk, and I'm like lost it on him. And anyway, the point is, you always have to be on. You always
You
have
do.
to like present yourself,
And you can't forget
present
that.
yourself well.
Oh yeah, and you can't forget. Unfortunately, the customer's always right. Like
Mhm.
it's not. It sounds really corny and vague, but like you, even when they're wrong, you have to let them figure it out or creatively spoon feed the information. Like you can't just come at people. You know what I'm talking
Oh
about? Like, you got
yeah,
to be
no,
very
I
mindful how
know.
you keep people
I know
information.
exactly what you're talking about, and that can be difficult. I have a client who, is in the industry and is used to being told yes and they're right all the time, and it's very frustrating because they will come to me one day and say, I really just I want to focus on full body every time, every session. I want to focus on full body, so I don't want to do these splits anymore. I don't want to do okay, so we do that, and I want to be pushed. I want to lift heavier. Okay, and then the next week I come and they go, I really need to focus more on legs because I feel like my quads, I'm losing muscle. Can we just focus on that? Okay. And then like I'll go to hand them a heavy weight and they go, I'm getting older. I can't be lifting like this all the time. Like I need to I haven't had much sleep. Like I need to lift a lot, like take it easy on me. Okay. And every week is different. And I had to really sit them down one day and go, I'm a little confused. I have to be honest. And I never said they were wrong and I never lost it. I just said,
Yeah,
first you said this, so we did that. And then the next week, and I started keeping track like
yeah,
of days that we would change the program and say, and now on, and then the third, you said this, but then the eighth, you said this. And now I need to figure out like, and then they realized how kind of crazy they were being and go, oh yeah, oh wow, I'm sorry, I really like, and
yeah.
but it was really hard and frustrating not to go, okay, what do you want from me? Okay, because like,
See what I
you
mean?
can't
That's
do
the
that.
yeah. That you got to
You
catch
can't.
yourself. That's the thing. I have that with clients all the time, and it's not their fault. It's not their job to know this stuff. But like they'll want something done, and I I already know it's not going to work. Like I already know it's not going to work. Technically, I know it's not going to work. I've done it 100 times. It's not literally cannot work. Not that I
Mhm,
don't want to. It's just not going to work.
mhm,
And you have to have that moment where it's like you be like, no, sorry, not going to work, and just be not open to stuff from their perspective, or do you just go like,
mhm.
well, this is what might happen. We can try it though. I'm happy to see what goes. We
Yeah.
can just give it a shot and see. Like I have to go about it that way because then they
Mhm,
know I'm open to trying stuff. I already know it's not going to work, and I
mhm.
have to let them. I had to lead them to the path and lead them to the water, kind of thing, so they see it.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you just turn into it. You become a dick. I'm not going to be that
Yeah.
person. It's not
Yeah.
fun. I don't want to be
Yeah.
that. But like, yeah, those are the things like you really can't. Yeah, it's funny, but anyway.
Mhm. I get it. I get it. Well, I love this, Ben. I think this was a great idea, and I hope that we help people.
We've done this like 4 times now. It's great.
I know we're trying to get off, but then we like think of other things. But there's a lot. There's a lot that goes on to your own
There's a lot.
business, and
We'll
if
have
you
to do
guys have
volume two
any,
soon.
well, yeah,
Volume two.
definitely. If you guys have any questions, you could always DM us.
Yes.
I am at Morgan M. Mitchell. Where are you, Ben?
I'm at Ben Shawnee Creative.
Oh yeah, creative. Because you're so creative.
So creative, Morgan. It's exhausting.
I don't know how you do
When are you
it.
making pancakes and tacos? What's up with that? Your
I
Instagram
just
stories
made
are
pancakes
infuriating.
this Sunday. I made pancakes this Sunday. I haven't actually made my tacos in a long time. I think I'm just waiting for you.
Let's go. I'm gonna go this. I'm gonna go 8 deep this time.
Okay.
8.
This week for sure, this weekend or something.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, take care and I'll see you soon.
Oh my God, I wasn't recording.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, I was. Why am I like this? I don't know. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.